Hello, aspirants. Thank you for joining the session. We will wait for a few more minutes until many people join in, so we can begin the session after that. Until then, you can let us know how is it going. Have you started your preparation yet? Are you coping up?
How many of you have taken our Snaptitude? We can see a lot of registrations pouring in. Hope all of you are doing well in Snaptitude. Let us know in the chat box. Hello, Purvaj.
Hi everyone. Excited for the session?
Yes, we are also very excited to start off. We'll wait for a few more minutes so that everyone can join in. Meanwhile, you can scan the social media handles that you see there and join the tribe.
So, how did you find our Snaptitude? Did you guys apply for it? Pretty tough. Yes, it was curated in regard with the snap pattern. It will help you though. You will find it quite insightful and it will give you a clear idea of how to tackle snap and how the questions are actually done.
And if you haven't registered yet, you can just go to the description of this video and or click on the link with the Snaptitude and register there and take the test.
It is pretty, absolutely normal to feel that Snaptitude is tough, or for some of you, maybe easy, for some of you, it's moderate. It's absolutely all right. Everyone is at a different phase when it comes to the preparation. So keep at it, right? Dedication and commitment is the key here. Okay, so without further ado, let's begin today's session. So the first day of Nexus is over and 2 more days to go, as you can see there on the slide, right? And you all have supported us so much, yesterday and made the session interactive and lively. So we hope you'll keep up the spirit today as well. Now, welcome to day 2 of Nexus 2023, the art of test taking. Today, we'll shed light on the strategies we followed for a top-notch performance on the D-Day. So these tips, tricks, and tools have helped us ace Snap with flying colors. So let me highlight that these are not Snap-related strategies or how to solve each sections. We have a dedicated event, Coffee with SIBM, coming up for that. So we also have shared certain strategies in our previous sessions. But this session is more on how to develop yourself personally to tackle the exam stress and even other stresses in life. We have gotten so many questions over the past couple of days on how do we deal with anxiety and stress, right? So this is for that. And these are science-based information which we have curated from psychology, medicine, and other fields, and we believe they will be of great help to you, as it has been for us. So we'll try to keep the session as interactive as possible. So please do keep using the chat box, right? And we'll also have a Q&A at the end of the session. Now let me reintroduce my team, the Aspirant Relations team of SIBM Pune. So as you can see there on the slide, I am Pooja R and I'm part of the Aspirant Relations team. And a little bit about myself, I'm from Kerala and I'm settled in Bangalore. So my career has been a very unique and diverse path so far. I've done my undergraduation in BTech, Computer Science and Engineering. I worked for 2 years at Deloitte, US, India as a business technology analyst. And I also did my master's in psychology from Christ University. So I'm a practicing counseling psychologist and I have around 4,000 plus hours of counseling practice so far. Now, let me introduce my co-hosts and hand over the stage to them. Over to you, Muskan.
Hello, everyone. I'm Muskan Dhiman, and I'm from Himachal Pradesh. I pursued my undergraduation in BTech in Computer Science and Engineering from NIT Hamirpur. There, I got placed on campus at an IT firm, and I worked as a software engineer for 46 months. So, something about me, I love music, traveling, and yoga. I love solo traveling, and I'm also a level 1 certified yoga teacher. In my free time, I love traveling and exploring new things. This is a bit about me. Over to you, Rohan.
Hi folks, I am Rohan Joshi and I hail from Mumbai. I did my Bachelor's of Commerce from HR College of Commerce and Economics in Mumbai. I am a fresher and I have done a few internships, one being at Ernst& Young, then I moved on to Kotak Securities and I interned at a startup as well. In my free time, I love writing poetry and doing stand-ups. That's about me. Now I would like to hand it to Shuddha. Okay, I think Shuddho is having some technical issues. We could move ahead with Sakshi.
Hi everyone, I'm Saksha Gavne, hailing from Mumbai. I graduated with a BA in English Literature in 2021 and subsequently worked for 2 years as a consultant in a recruitment firm. During my free time, I enjoy reading, dancing, and traveling. So that's all about me.
So, folks, Shuddha will be sharing his introduction during his section. So, meanwhile, we have shared our LinkedIn profiles and social media handles in the description box below. So, please feel free to reach out to us for any help or questions related to admissions, SNAP, SIBM Pune, and so on. So, in fact, a lot of you have already started reaching out, and we are so happy to see that. Now, let's carry on with the topic of the day, the art of test taking. Now, why did we name our session The Art of Test Taking? We believe that achieving success in SNAP is not merely about memorizing the syllabus or mock strategies or formulas. It is an art in itself as it involves a skillful approach, or rather like a craft where strategies, techniques, and creativity come together. So today we'll be highlighting so many micro factors which together create a big impact in the DD. Let's start with one of the biggest factors, creating a routine. So creating a healthy routine is more difficult than it sounds. Now, let me ask you a question. How many of you here have tried to make a resolution? Like starting tomorrow, I'll wake up at 6 a.m., go for a walk, drink a healthy smoothie, study for an hour, and so on. Pour in your answers in the chat box. I can see an answer. This is so me. Yes. Me, a lot of me coming up in the chat box, right? And I do understand that fast forward to the next day, you might be snoozing your alarm and curled up in bed. So I've also been there and done that. A lot of me's are coming up. Yeah, I'm happy to hear that I'm not alone, right? So this is because, creating a routine is actually about breaking so many habits that we have been conditioned to and forming new habits, right? So let me propose a few steps that could help you analyze your existing routine and optimize it. Step 1 is observe your routine without judgment and note it down. Yes, you heard it right. Just observe what is your usual routine. For instance, after snoozing the alarm 5 times, I may wake up at 7:30 a.m. I'll scroll through the phone for around 15 minutes, push myself out of bed and rush, and so on. It's all right to have such a routine. Just observe yourself without criticizing and pen it down. Now observe your patterns. The second step is identify the negotiables and the non-negotiables. So in your routine, which are the areas that are must-dos for you? And some of these tasks might even sound silly to others, but it's a big deal for you. For example, I take around 5 minutes every day to organize my desk. It's a non-negotiable for me, and without it, I feel quite cluttered. Similarly, what are your non-negotiables? Now, one way to determine your negotiables and non-negotiables is to reflect on what particular activity is adding value to your life. How are you feeling while doing it, right? For example, scrolling endlessly through social media. You may feel relaxed while doing it, but extremely guilty afterwards. So you may notice that it isn't quite adding value to your time. So through this process, you may identify negotiables. For instance, let's say my routine is waking up at 7:30 a.m. Instead, if I push this to 7 a.m., I may complete all my mundane morning tasks in half an hour and get extra study time before work starts. Now, can you take some time to reflect on your own routine and identify the negotiables? Let me know in the chat box. Sometimes it is quite difficult to identify it, right? Because many things may feel like, non-negotiables. But take a little bit of time, reflect on yourself. I can see a question. I cannot get up early. So it seems like something that you want to put in the negotiable bucket, but it might be difficult for you to do so. I completely get that. All right, this is a little difficult. I do understand, because sometimes it does feel like everything in our routine is so important that we can't let go of it, right? So take some time, if you want, take a day or two to reflect on this and identify your negotiables. Now, once you've identified your negotiables, try to reframe your routine with micro changes. Note the word micro, right? Trying to make humongous changes is quite frankly not a good idea. Imagine you have been waking up at 8 and decide to suddenly wake up at 6 a.m. Is this even realistic? I mean, even your body would be like, what are you trying to do? Right? So make micro changes, like just pushing 30 minutes in the beginning. Then once you're used to that new timing, again, push 30 minutes and so on. So there would be less resistance. And I believe that, as someone asked in the chat box, it is difficult to suddenly start waking up very early, right? Because there's a lot of resistance that comes in. So try to make micro changes instead. I'll share an example from my personal life here. While I was prepping for my exam, I was in Bangalore and I was working. So those of you who know Bangalore also knows about the Bangalore traffic, right? So those days when I had to travel to work, it was a big task in itself. And my work started around 10 a.m. and I had to start from my home at 9 a.m. to reach the office on time. So I analyzed my routine and realized that my travel timing is the biggest issue here. Because around 9 a.m., most working professionals used to travel and it was a peak time. So I decided to make a micro change, which was quite realistic for me. I decided to travel to work at 8 a.m. So it was not a peak time in my area, and I used to reach the office within just 20 minutes, right? And this helped me save around 35 minutes. And that's not all. My office was quite empty around the time I reached. So I could just pop into an empty meeting room and study in peace. So similarly, analyze your own routine, take your time, and make such micro changes. Now, something that could help you here is having a small to-do list, right? It can be either a hard copy or digital. But this helps you in keeping yourself reminded of daily tasks. It saves time in having to decide what to do, and it gives the satisfaction of ticking off those tasks in the list. And our brain, it reacts positively to seeing progress on task, no matter what the size. So your brain is actually getting like a hit of dopamine whenever you cross off items from your to-do list. A technique that is quite helpful here is the Eisenhower time management metrics. And someone here already asked, how do we manage our time, right? Now, let me invite my co-host Muskan to talk about the metrics.
Thank you, Pooja. Hello, aspirants. Now, let me take you all into what Eisenhower time matrix is all about. So the Eisenhower matrix is a way to organize tasks by urgency and importance. So you can effectively prioritize your most important work. So for example, important plus urgent is something like your mock exams or self-care activities. So you should do it on priority. If it is important plus not urgent, something like project deadline, which is coming up next week. So you should schedule it. Not important plus urgent is something like cleaning your room. So you can delegate that task. And not important plus not urgent is something that is a distraction to you, like a party that you have been invited to. So you can delete that from your calendar. Now, when we talk about creating a routine and managing our time, one very important question we get asked a lot is, how should we balance our work and preparation? Or how to balance academics and preparation if you are a fresher. So the steps that we have shared so far by themselves could help you find a healthy balance between work, studies, and preparation. But here is some food for thought. So in today's time, work-life balance is not exactly rigid in nature. It may not look like once I log in, I will be working throughout, and then my personal life starts when I log out. Because of the pandemic, our professional and personal lives are very intertwined. So whether it's for the good or bad, this is the truth. So let's make best use of this flexibility. So first is, if possible, try to plan the week in advance and prepare your to-do list before the week starts. You can blend your preparation around your schedule accordingly. For example, in my case, let's say I'm working from home and I get to take breaks amid my schedule. So I can utilize these breaks for my preparation. In fact, I used to prepare my vocabulary during my breaks. So if I used to get 5, 10, or 15 minutes of breaks in between, I would go on some vocabulary app and practice my vocabulary. Sometimes I used to fill those empty pockets with household chores like washing the dishes or doing the laundry. So one of my favorite tasks was washing the dishes while watching my favorite series. So I could tick off those tasks and that won't interfere with my preparation time. So try to work effectively in optimum time instead of working for long hours. Now, another question for you. How many of you get distracted during your acads or work? And what usually distracts you? What is something that distracts you when you're trying to study or trying to work? Instagram, yes, that is valid. Procrastination, okay, YouTube, phone, yes. Yes, phone is a big distraction. I know that I used to get distracted from time to time from Instagram, phone, Netflix. So whether it's Instagram or my favorite series or something else, I used to find it difficult to completely focus my attention on work or studies. Now, when we don't focus our attention completely on one task, we are actually multiplying the time that is taken to finish it off. This also adds a lot of mental pressure on it because we're not being productive. A simple 30-minute task can become a 2-hour task, right? So we would recommend you to try a technique that we have shared in many of our sessions, which is called Pomodoro. It's a simple technique of dividing time into 25-minute blocks followed by 5-minute breaks. And this cycle repeats for 4 times, and we can call that one session. And then it is followed by a longer break. Now, although the time advice is 25 minutes of work and 5 minutes of break, you can tap into your own attention span. For example, when I was studying, I used to study for 45 minutes and then get a 15 minutes break. And there are certain apps that can help you in this regard as well. I personally used Forest, which is a mobile-based app. And it used to make my study sessions really fun. There is another called Pomodoro, which is a web-based application. And what they do is that they cut off all the distractions from those 25 minutes. So you can focus on your study or work. Now, talking about apps, you know that technology is both a boon and a bane. So when I asked you before, what are some of the distractions in your life? Many of you mentioned your phones, right? So yes, the chief culprit who comes in the way of your preparation is most often your phone. But let's learn how to detox digitally and find a digital life balance, similar to a work-life balance. Now I will start off with 3 questions. First is, how many of you are carrying your phones right now? And I'm sure most of you might be watching this session with your phone as well. How many of you have your phones at the moment? You can use the chat box. Okay. Yes, watching this on the phone. Yes, that's right. Now the second question is, where is it kept? Where is your phone kept at the moment? Okay, Sankha is watching from the laptop. It's far away currently, that's good. Holding it in my hand. Yes, so it's close to us. The third question is, how many of you would check it if you get a notification right now? If there's an Instagram notification, how many of you will check it right now? Yes, a lot of you are agreeing. Not now, I have kept it far. That's good, Kunal. Okay, so from these answers, it's pretty self-explanatory, right? We can't live without our phones. And the purpose of this slide is not to say no to our phones. We understand that phones have become an integral part of our lives, from setting alarms to reaching out to our loved ones, from attending team calls if you're a working professional, ordering food. And it's also important in your preparation as well. So we need it all day, every day, right? So unlike what our parents might have told us, using a phone isn't the main reason for all our problems. The problem is not the phone, but it's the fact that we're not using it wisely. Here also, self-awareness is the key. So try to analyze and note down all the situations where you can use the phone. Okay, it may be to order food, shop clothes, call friends and family, and so on. So from this list, you can segregate which activities can be avoided completely, which can be moderated, and which ones are beneficial. For example, many of you may be watching this session through the phone, like I mentioned before. And I believe that this is a beneficial list because it is adding to your preparation. And this is a very subjective exercise because the activities that can be avoided for some may not be for others, and vice versa. For example, I may decide to cut out my 15 minutes that I spend every day on Instagram, while you may just decide to limit it to 10 minutes because that is important to you. Now, as ironic as this may sound, we can use technology to limit technology. So earlier, like we covered how we can use Forest, Pomodoro, and similar applications for time management and how to increase our focus on work and studies. You can also use your phone to find out how much time goes into each application. And it's very easy to do these days. So each phone has a different setting, but you can find out the time that each application is using and how many hours per week you're using on the application. This reminds me of one of the incidents that one of my friends recently told me, and she got shocked when she found out she spends around 4 hours each day on Instagram. And she never noticed this at all because these 4 hours were not in a single chunk, but they were split into smaller sessions. So she may not have decided to scroll for 4 hours, right? She may have decided to scroll for 5 minutes, which ended up becoming 20 minutes. And then she had multiple such 20-minute sessions, which became 4 hours. So it's crazy how much power technology has on us, right? Here, I would like to know from my peers in the panel as well, the ways in which they have tackled the situation.
So you can use the Zen mode in your phone to block out every distraction. Zen mode basically disables all unimportant notifications. I would say take out 10 minutes every day to declutter your phone. Remove those unwanted apps that have been lurking inside your phone for the last 1 trillion years. Those apps that you may have installed to buy that one dress or scan that one document and then completely forgot about. Just like physical clutter, digital clutter is also quite real. So without us knowing it, it consumes our time and energy.
Yes, I absolutely agree with you, Sakshi. In fact, just a few days ago, I got a random push notification from some app that I had barely used. And since the word sale was written on it in big red letters, just like every other app notification, I also clicked on it and I scrolled through it for 30 minutes and decided to not buy anything. So imagine the amount of time I wasted on the app. And this could have been avoided if I just uninstalled the app, right?
Yes, Muskan, I absolutely agree with you. Talking about apps, right? I would say that an option is to disable the notifications from all of these unimportant apps. You may be thinking, but all these are just trivial things. How does this matter? But trust me, such micro changes, it actually makes a huge difference collectively. In fact, in psychology, I've learned that the principle of proximity, it points out this tendency for those who are physically close to one another to form social relationships. And as weird as this may sound, phone is in a way one of the most intimate relationships that you are in, right? So when you're preparing, studying, working, or doing anything important, it's always best to keep your phone physically away from you. I would say it reduces the tendency to check it, scroll through it for like 5 minutes, and overall, it actually increases your productivity when your phone is away.
Yes, thank you for adding to that, Pooja. I would also like to suggest selecting 1 to 2 tech-free zones in your home or house. And that is what I used to do during my preparation. So my study table was a phone-free zone. So I just used to sit with my laptop books and that's it. And although I do not use a laptop while studying, my beanbag is a tech-free zone as well, since I usually read books while sitting on it. Similarly, you can allocate such zones for you as well. And this can help train your brain to detach from your phone in these zones. Now, you may have a question, what's the use in detaching from a phone? I mean, what else can I do with the time that I have left? So to answer this question, let me invite you.
Thank you, Muskan. So to answer the question, we will look into some things. So I know what you're going through because I was in your position just a year ago. Before I start, I request you all to listen carefully because what I'm about to tell you is the key reason for my success in the B school exams. So let's start with an example. Say a person is attempting an exam. Let's say he or she attempted the quant section first, but could not solve many questions. That experience caused a mental stress and a demotivation. Personally, even I would get demotivated if I would not solve many quant questions and they would not come correct. Uh, Now, when they are attempting another section, that stress is negatively affecting them and affecting their performance. This happens a lot. Many good students perform badly in exams because of such anxiety and stress. Let us do a small exercise right now. I just want you to answer a few questions. Be active in the chat box. It will, provide some really interesting insights. So I want you to type in 5 things that you can see right now. Any 5 things around you that you can see. Okay. Laptop. Okay. Phone, headphone. Right. Okay. Now I want you to answer any 4 things that you can touch right now. Like any 4 things around you that you can touch. Could be anything. It could be my phone, a laptop, this table, this chair I'm sitting on right now. Yes, you can see. You can see me. Yes. Okay, water bottle. Okay. What are 3 things that you can hear right now? Could be my voice, could be your fan, or could be someone cooking in the kitchen. Okay. Okay, a dog barking. Okay. Okay. 2 things that you can smell. What can you smell right now? Is the dinner cooking yet? Okay, coffee, food. That's great. That's great. And just name one thing you can taste right now. Okay. Okay, good. So, uh, why this activity? So, in this activity, you may have noticed things that you may not have otherwise noticed. This is how our brain actually functions. Most of the time, we are so engrossed in the digital world that we miss out on those aspects which are actually present in the present. This exercise was to bring you with the present moment. It's called mindfulness, right? So practicing mindfulness is the next suggestion we have for you. Being mindful is the word that has gained a lot of popularity in the few years. So what is mindfulness? It's like unagi that Ross has in Friends, right? So in simple words, it actually means living intentionally with awareness in the present moment. Many at times our days are on autopilot mode. We wake up, scroll through our phone, get ready, go to college or work, eat and work again. Like it's just the same cycle. Mindfulness helps you wake up from such a mechanical way of living and helps us live our lives fully. By practicing mindfulness, you consciously focus on your mind in the present without judging the moment. For example, while preparing for Snap, I remember moments when I used to feel quite stressed. So instead of suppressing my feelings, I allowed myself to feel that stress and understand where the stress is coming from. This helped me become more in control of my emotions. Then I could do something to manage my stress. If I did not know where it was coming from, how was I supposed to manage my stress? So instead of pretending that the stress did not exist, I became in control of what to do with the stress. Another reason why mindfulness can be beneficial, especially to a B school aspirant, is that it can help you focus more. Instead of letting the mind wander around, you can become more in control of your mind and organize your thoughts. So, what are some practices that you think might become mindful, might help you become mindful? Like when you hear mindfulness, what activities come to your mind? You can type it in the chat box. What do you think mindfulness is? Something that helps you focus, maybe. Okay, listening to songs, meditating, right? Right. So, yes, we usually associate yoga, meditation, and other such practices with mindfulness. These are usually the images that come to our mind when we say mindfulness. But you know what? Mindfulness can be practiced at any time. While doing anything, we can practice mindfulness. So, it can be playing with our dog, going on a trek, spending time with our friends, and anything else. It's about connecting with the present. It can be being mindful about preparation. It's all about not zoning out. So it is also a form of self-care. You are taking care of your mind from going haywire. So talking about self-care, I can't stress the importance of self-care enough. So for an MBA aspirant especially, self-care should be a non-negotiable part of your routine. Every single person I've met here has engaged in some form of self-care activity while preparing. No one just sat and prepared the whole day. That will just, build up and it will burn you out. Uh, so it reduces your efficiency. Engage in one form of self-care activity every day. It can just be a 15 minutes activity. That's all right. It can be a 15-minute workout. It could be doing your skincare routine, watching an episode of Office, Friends, How I Met Your Mother. It could be anything that you love. It won't take a lot of time as long as you don't get addicted to it. What according to you is your self-care activity, like something that helps you distract from what you're doing and then get back to your course of action again? You can type it in the chat box. Okay, reading books. That's great. Okay, taking a walk, guitar. That's great. That's great. We will also share a handout containing certain self-care activities that you can try to manage your distress level using the five senses. Remember that this list is completely up to you. You can remove or add activities as you feel fit for yourself. While talking about self-care, physical care is very imperative. So my co-host Shuddha will be taking you over the importance of the same. He's quite fit, so you should follow his advice. Over to you, Shudha.
Thank you so much, Rohan. Hi, everyone. Happy to be back again. So, my name is Shuddha Chaudhary. I come from a middle class Bengali family. My parents have taught me to be honest in whatever I do and make sure that I never find shortcuts. I've done my BTech IT from IIM Kolkata, where I have been the departmental topper. I'm a sports person by heart. I enjoy cricket, swimming, and marathons. I'm also interested in geopolitics, national politics, and storytelling. So, as Rohan mentioned, do you know what physically happens to us when we are stressed? Biologically, when we are stressed, our body functions keep changing. For this, I'll take you into a bit of history. Don't worry, I won't bore you for sure. I promise this is going to be really interesting. So, thousands of years ago, when our ancestors were cavemen, their chief worry was whether they will make it through the day. After all, they're living in a jungle with tigers and lions.
Hey folks, I think he is having some trouble connecting. He will be with you just 1 minute. We'll be connecting him with another account. Until then, we can talk about Snaptitude. How many of you registered? It's quite great. Okay, I think he is here. We'll
So, yes, thank you so much, Rohan. Really sorry, aspirants, for the delay. My name is Shuddhashattu Chaudhary. I come from a middle-class Bengali family. My parents have taught me to be honest in whatever I do and make sure that I never find shortcuts. I've done my BTech IT from IIM Kolkata, where I have been the departmental topper. I'm a sports person by heart. I enjoy cricket, swimming, and marathons. I'm also interested in geopolitics, national politics, and storytelling. So, as Rohan mentioned, uh, do you know what physically happens to us when we are stressed? Yes, biologically, when we are stressed, our body functions change. For this, I'll take you into a bit of history. Don't worry, I won't bore you for sure. I promise this is going to be really interesting. So, thousands of years ago, when our ancestors were cavemen, their chief worry was whether they will be able to make throughout the day. After all, they were living in a jungle with tigers and lions all around. So the brain was always in a cautious mode. So whenever there was a slight hint of danger, let's say they heard a growling sound, they had to immediately respond. So this tiny part of the brain called amygdala blocked the entire brain and triggered a fight or a flight response. So they either fight the danger or run away from it. So we should all thank our amygdala because without it, we won't have survived till now. Now coming back to the present, we are in a relatively safer environment, right? We don't have tigers around us. So brain has replaced physical danger with psychological danger. So each time you think of B school examinations, your brain is actually sensing danger and triggering a fight or a flight response. So during the stress, what happens in our body? Our heartbeat rises so that our blood pressure, our breathing rate increases so that there's more oxygen available to our organs. A lot of blood flows to the brain so that we think more quickly. Even our muscles receive a lot of blood because we may have to do physical fight or physical running away. However, our digestive system is not needed during this period. And so we do notice a loss of appetite. Thousands of neurochemical reactions happen in our body during this period. It is a psychological stress going over here. So then, what will your body do in such a condition? This is why taking care of your body is really important. So engaging in some kind of a physical activity every day is really essential. Something you like. After all, the exercise you choose to reduce stress should be something you really enjoy doing. It can be taking a walk or a jog, dancing, cycling, doing martial arts, going to the gym, yoga, anything you like. Also try to correct your sleep cycle. So guys, what is your so folks, what is your sleep cycle pattern now? Yes, I can definitely understand because I have also gone through the same. Yes, yes, yes. We understand that there may not be enough time to have enough sleep during these particular days. But try your best to get as much sleep as possible during this period. In fact, without a healthy sleep cycle, sometimes our exam also gets affected, you know. Yes. So I'll share an example of one of my close friends with all of you. He used to prepare for his B school examinations at night since he was a working professional at that point of time. Often he used to study till morning 5 to 6 a.m., sleep for just 3 to 4 hours, and wake up around 9 a.m. And go to work again. But when his admit card came in, and some of the exam centers, as you all know, are far away, his exam was scheduled to be in the morning. So he had to travel for a long time to reach the particular spot. And you can understand the rest of the story. Although he had prepared really hard for his examination, the examination didn't really go well. And he suffered ultimately. So having a good sleep cycle is really essential in this particular period. And not to mention, having a poor sleep cycle can really affect your other health issues as well. The same principle applies to your appetite also. Try to eat healthy during this phase and also afterwards, because food is the fuel on which your brain works and also your body. So feed your brain well. Now, having said all of this, you must be thinking, all of this is good, but how do we sustain the motivation to do all of this? The next slide will answer all of such questions. How to sustain the motivation. So here, let me present to you the ARTs. A stands for aligning tasks with goals. In order to sustain motivation on any task, even if it's washing plates or doing the laundry, there needs to be an internal push. So try to align the tasks with the goals that you have in mind and remind yourself of this. Oh, I have to study profit and loss would be associated with your goal, which is to reach your dream B school. Reminding yourself of your goal can do wonders. In one of our recent sessions, an aspirant told us that he has set his laptop wallpaper as SIBM Pune. This is a perfect example of reminding what you're aiming for. R stands for reinforcement. In psychology, there's a theory called operant conditioning by B.F. Skinner. It states that a certain behavior tends to occur more when it is associated with the positive reward. This is in fact the same principle that your parents have used when they told you, get good marks in your boards and I'll buy you an iPhone. Think about it. When you know that a particular behavior will lead to a positive consequence, you would naturally repeat that behavior. So do the same thing when it comes to your preparation. Design rewards for yourself when you achieve something. For example, if I finish 4 modules of LR this week, I'll treat myself a chocolate and do this again and again. So your brain would work towards finishing those 4 modules. Remember to sometimes just celebrate even the smallest of wins. Look in the mirror and throw in a few compliments for yourself, even if your targets were missed by a narrow margin. Finally, T stands for tracking progress. This is really essential. Make sure that your goals are organized and planned. You can use a notebook or an Excel sheet or even mobile apps for this. We have attached a weekly planner in the resource bundle for this purpose. There is also a goal tracker. Please utilize these resources properly. Lastly, S stands for support system. Your support system is very important and is an integral part of your mental health and success. Keep them close. Sometimes we tend to isolate ourselves during our preparation journey and block out our loved ones. That's a huge mistake. Keep those people close who know you well, who are your cheerleaders. It may be your parents or siblings or partners or friends or even your pets. Make them aware of how you may not be able to spend as much time with them as you want. But at the same time, make them a part of your journey. When I was preparing, I decided to integrate a 15-minute dance workout every day. My best friend also joined in with me during the workout to keep me motivated, and so did my parents. If you want, you can integrate your loved ones into this reward system. Let's say you have successfully finished 10 mocks. Why not go out to a cafe with your best of buddies and just celebrate? So how do you usually motivate yourself? Yeah, music is definitely something that cools you down and soothes your mood. Yeah, spirituality. I am myself a huge follower of Sadhguru, so I can understand definitely. Yeah, I think talking with friends is something that is an integral part of most of us, and that definitely helps you relieve. Yeah, exercising is something that really that really should be a part of your journey, because it not only keeps you physically fit, but it also helps you relieve your mental stress. So moving further, I would welcome Sakshi to talk about the D-Day mantra specifically. Over to you, Sakshi.
Thank you, Shubhashwata. Hi, everyone. Hope you are all with us so far. I understand that sometimes, even after we set goals, make an action plan, and begin our journey, we may feel like taking a pause, giving up, or just exhausted. Tackling demotivation is a very challenging and it's an everyday task. Here we are essentially sharing a checklist for you to take care of on the D-Day. Your brain is already running at full capacity, and we would like to make the work easier for you. A day before the exam, take care of a few aspects. Do some form of self-care to distress yourself. Keep your exam essentials ready and packed. The admit card with photograph, water, a chocolate if needed, documents, ID card, pen and pencil, phone, wallet, etc. Plan your travel. Whether you are taking an Uber or Ola, or you are traveling on your own or with your family, ensure you have a plan, keeping in mind the time taken. When you check the time taken to reach the test center, keep in mind the traffic. If you check the time taken to reach the center at night, you may not consider the peak time traffic in the morning. Have a healthy dinner. Yes, of course. Have something healthy for your dinner. Preferably nothing that would upset your stomach. It is not the time to experiment with food. And yes, sleep on time. On the D-Day, check these things off your list. Wake up at the planned time. It's a bad day to hit that snooze button. So wake up on time, folks. Double check if you have all your essentials. Have a healthy breakfast. Travel to the test center with a buffer time. Make sure you reach before time. Anything can happen at the last minute, such as a traffic block. So do what all Indian parents do when they go to the airport. Reach much ahead of time. Keep a bottle of water close even if you think you don't need it. Before the exam, take a few minutes to compose yourself. Try a breathing exercise. It might help. Go to your strong section first. This helps you to build confidence into the exam at the beginning itself. If you aren't able to tackle a particular question, give yourself a positive affirmation and move on to the next question. It is possible that you won't know all the questions, and that is absolutely okay. Instead of panicking and beating yourself down over a question, give yourself a positive affirmation and go to the next question without wasting a lot of time. Sometimes when we invest a lot of time and energy into a question, we get too attached to it. We find it difficult to let go. Keep in mind that the end goal is to crack SNAP with maximum scores, and all questions carry the same marks. So it's imperative to let go of a question if we aren't able to crack it. Also, when we are stressed about exams, it is quite common for us to misread questions and numbers or to make calculation errors, forget formulas, and so on. So try to do as many mocks as possible before the D-Day. We have collaborated with many prestigious platforms on YouTube and talked about mock solving strategies and analyzing techniques. The trick is to simulate the exam environment as much as possible. For example, you can attempt mocks in the designated time slot once your admit card is released. If you feel blank amidst the exam, take a pause. If you want, drink some water or focus on your breathing for a few seconds and calm yourself down and then try again. It is possible to feel overwhelmed after all. We have now reached the end of the session, aspirants. But before opening the floor for questions, let me remind you that Snaptitude is still up and rolling. Go to Unstop, search for Snaptitude, and you'll see us there. You can click on register and click on the play button when you want to attempt the exam. And the top 10 winners are going to get one extra Snap attempt, absolutely free of cost. If you've already paid for all 3 attempts, you'll get your money refunded. The top 10 would also get a free subscription to the Hindustan Times Premium Yearly subscription, where you'll get access to high quality news and insightful content throughout the year. And the best part is yet to come. The winners will have a Snapchat with our second year students, which is essentially a one-on-one mentoring session on how to approach your preparation and address all your doubts. We would also pair you up with a study buddy who will be one of us from the Aspirant Relations team. We'll be your support system in this journey towards cracking Snap. Just scan the QR code to reach our Snaptitude page. It's the QR code on the poster. You can also find the link in the video description. This would also help you before the official Snap mock. Remember, folks, the deadline for Snaptitude is the 20th of October. So what are you waiting for? Register and give your attempt right away. And also, aspirants, as we mentioned yesterday, our flagship event, Coffee with SIBM, is coming soon. So I would request everyone to take out a minute to scan the QR code and fill the form. We would like to understand where you would like us to visit this year and help you on this journey. Now, let me open the floor for questions.
So I can see a question related to the refund, right? So basically, we will be sponsoring one of your Snap attempts, right? And in case you have already registered for all 3 Snap attempts, that means that we will be giving you the cashback of once. So it will be refunded.
Aspirants, feel free to ask your questions. We'll be more than happy to answer any question.
Yes. Is this free? Yeah, Snaptitude is absolutely free of cost. Okay. I also get a question about how do I tackle the exam hour anxiety, right? And I believe that anxiety or stress of any form is pretty common, especially during exam, because it's just 60 minutes and it's a speed-based test and a lot of things are dependent on it. So like we explained a while ago, right? Sometimes when you're feeling that anxiousness or stress amidst the exam, you may absolutely go blank as well. It's important to take a small pause, right? If you want, drink some water or do some breathing exercises. But remind yourself that this one particular question is not the end of it, right? There are a lot of questions ahead as well. So what I would suggest is take a pause, right? Sort of calm yourself down, cope with that stress, and move ahead with the next question. And many a times I have noticed that some of the easiest questions may be towards the end. We never know, right? So yeah, I hope this helps.
So I can see another question coming about how to focus more while studying. It happened with me that I could not sit for an entire hour or even half an hour for matter of that. But then what actually helped me through my preparation journey was I used to sit for half an hour, like completely focused, keeping my phone aside, just shutting myself in the room with some of my friends with whom I used to prepare. And that actually helped me build a lot of focus during my exam preparations, because when you sit with someone who has the same who has the same mental capacity, the same attention, as well as the same dedication that you want to put into achieving something, you can really improve your focus, and you can soon increase that half an hour. I increased that half an hour along with my friends to 1 hour, and that's how I increased my attention span. So that was one thing that really helped me focus while studying.
So I would just like to add one thing to what Rohan said. Something that really helped me was listening to relaxing music or white noise through apps or some of the YouTube videos which are present on the platform. So what it used to do is help me focus more on what I'm doing. And of course, like we discussed, the Pomodoro technique is also something that helped me focus more on my studying and make my study session as productive as possible.
Okay, so I see a question on how can I manage work and preparation with Saturdays working? I barely get enough time to study, and I can relate so much to you because just a year ago I was working, and unfortunately my Saturdays were also working, and it was very, very overwhelming. So I completely get what you're talking about, right? So I would say it's all about time management. try to analyze if there is any pattern to your week, right? Is some of the days it's relatively less hectic? For instance, my Fridays used to be relatively less hectic, so I used to focus a little bit more on Fridays. So it's all about distributing the time that you allot to your work and to your studies. And the breaks are also pretty crucial here. Try to fill your breaks with activities, apart from work. For instance, like Muskan said a while ago, it can be doing the chores, right? So you're actually saving time elsewhere, which you can allot to studies. Or you can even prepare. I remember I used to read newspapers during the breaks only, because I used to wake up in the morning and study for a while, and I couldn't get time to read the newspaper during that phase. So during my work breaks, I used to just sit and read the newspaper. So I would say utilizing your break and planning your studies around your work schedule is the key here.
So another question that I can see is how do you avoid stress eating? Because when there is a lot of stress, people generally tend to start eating junk food. So this is one thing which I used to do whenever I thought of eating fries or pizzas during my time of preparation. Uh, I love cooking, so I used to cook for myself. I used to make shakes, smoothies for myself. Be it beetroot smoothies, be it banana milkshakes, or be it hummus, as a matter of fact, which is extremely tasty. So that is one thing which will give your taste buds and enhancing the some dopamine boost to you. And while it will not help you stress eat, it is something healthy that you can follow, which will fill your stomach up as well as calm you down a bit. That helps.
And also, like Rohan mentioned, eating healthy can also help you overcome sleepiness and make you more energetic. Like Sanka has posed a question here, how to overcome the sleepiness. So if you're eating healthy and you're getting the right kind of exercise, that can also help you overcome, become more energetic, and help you focus more on your preparation.
Actually, when we are talking about sleepiness, right, adding on to what Muskan said, a little bit of exercise also helps a lot. I remember when I started preparation, preparing or studying for a long while because I was working. So I used to feel so sleepy, especially during the first few months, that I couldn't even open a book and sustain my attention properly. So then I started working out a little bit. Even if it was for 30 minutes in the morning, it actually made a huge difference. I could see or feel my energy level rising. It can be a walk at the night or something in the morning, but a little bit of exercise can also help. And the earlier there was a question regarding stress eating, right? From a very psychological perspective, we need to understand that our body is trying to, it's sort of trying to cope with the stress by distracting ourselves to something else, right? So understand your own patterns. Is it, for instance, are you stress eating more at night? Right? Or are you stress eating just before your mock exams? So try to understand where this pattern is coming from, right? And maybe it may not be realistically possible to completely cut out the junk and shift to a healthy routine as well. So try to reduce it. Like I said before, make micro changes and move to your ideal routine.
So I can see a question from Sandeep about the mess and hostel facilities at SIBM Pune. So let me take it up by saying that we actually have a really great mess where we have a lot of colleges at the hilltop, and all of us come together, share a same mess, and we actually have quite varied menu for all of us, which is spanned across the week. We have all the nutrients that are provided to us. We have breakfast, lunch, then we have a tea break around 5 p.m. where we are provided with snacks and refreshments. Then we have dinner. And if we get bored with that, we always have our Simbi canteen. We just go have a quick break for vada pav and chai. And that's how we get started with our break. And let me tell you, the hostels are really, really good.
So I can see a question that it will be difficult to not use my phone, and how can you use it for your preparations? So I'm sure even right now you must be using your phone to watch this video. So this is how you can use your phone for preparations. You can watch many educational videos. There are a lot of apps which can help you for preparation. There are many vocabulary apps that you can use. So just put, as we said in the session also, it is not about using the phone, but it is about using the phone in a good manner so that it helps you. So use this for preparation. You can use apps like Volt, which is for vocabulary, or you can use it for watching YouTube sessions, which help you for preparations about various exams for Snap, and you can always follow ART here.
So I could see there are a lot of questions regarding what are the most important chapters, what are the most important topics that you need to cover in Snap. Obviously, we won't be able to tell you what topics are there exactly, but one strategy that I used to follow to gauge what kind of questions would be coming is to go and give mocks, then review the past year's papers, analyze them. And I used to make a list of what topics are appearing the maximum times to, divert my focus to those topics more so that I could cover those chapters, those questions, and that type of level of difficulty. So that helped me. I could not share the exact list, but this is something that you could definitely try to maximize what type of questions would be coming in the exam.
In fact, adding on to what Rohan said, in the resource bundle, in the video description, there is a resource bundle which has a particular tool that you can use to analyze your mocks. So in that, topic-wise, you'll be able to segregate what works well for you. Because SNAP is a very dynamic exam, right? So not one particular topic will be constant. Maybe the topics that were there last year may not be then this year, right? But of course, there are some generic topics that are there. So you can utilize that particular resource as well to bucket your strengths and weaknesses so that you know which exams to go through immediately as you start your test. I can also see a question how to basically manage SNAP preparation along with other entrance exams. So it's all about time management. Most of the B school entrance exams have common topics and common syllabus, right? So the preparing for that can be done simultaneously at the same time. It's all about what it's all about how you want to allocate your time. If you want to allocate, let's say, 40% of the of your preparation time for SNAP, well, and if it's 30%, well and good. But one way to really analyze if a particular B school exam is going well is to do the mocks again. So mock is always going to be the key.
So another question that I see about the mindset while analyzing mocks. So I am a marketing student over here, and the first thing we are told while marketing is to be headstrong, have a thick skin. So while you are analyzing your mocks, there will be moments where you will feel that, oh, this was such an easy question, but I still could not crack it. Then you have the solution for the same. But what helps you tackle it is that, okay, now that's you have not made that mistake in actual snap exam. You have just made that mistake in mock, and that's a good thing. While you are making those mistakes in mocks, it makes sure that you won't repeat the same mistake in your actual exams. So you should have an optimistic point of view while you are analyzing your mocks and not let it affect you personally, since you have a lot of time for the exam as well, and you can cope up very easily.
So just adding on to what Rohan said, one very important mindset to have before you're analyzing a mock is to have the growth mindset. Now, what the growth mindset is that instead of judging yourself or thinking that you're weak in some areas, you need to have the mindset that, yes, I have the capability to improve on those areas and start building towards that and start working towards that. So that is a very important mindset to have, even when you are sitting for the examination. So you need to have that growth mindset, and all the best for SNAP.
So, aspirants, thank you so much for being here with us so far, right? And for being so interactive and lively and asking all your doubts and queries. As I mentioned in the beginning, you can always reach out to us on our social media platforms, LinkedIn, and many of you have already started doing that, and we are so happy for it. And we'll try to help you as much as possible. And yeah, thank you for sharing that this was a good session. Your feedback means a lot to us. So we are all in this together as the aspirant relations team of SIBM Pune. We are here for you, and we'll try to make this uphill climb as smooth as possible. So stay tuned for more updates, right? And stay tuned for tomorrow. We'll be back exactly at 9 p.m. and meet you all there. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everyone, for it was a really interactive session. We hope to see you tomorrow as well.
Thank you, aspirants.
Thank you, everyone.
Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow for the profile building session.